Rika and
Jessicarabbit.
welcome back to another episode of Soul Healer Podcast. It's your girl Rika.
And Jessica Rabbit.
Welcome back, everybody. So today's episode, we only have one show to recap, and that is Power. So we're going to spend most of the episode on our topic, which is, do you consider flirting cheating? And we also have some feedback from the people around us. And I apologize if you can hear that plane over top of my house right now, because I can hear it. So I'm hoping y'all can hear. Could you hear that? Could you hear the plane?
No, I couldn't hear the plane, but I hear all like the lawnmowers going on. So we got a lot of feedback. I don't know if you can hear that.
Okay. I'm hoping you guys can't hear that, but yeah, I just gave it away because I just said it. But it was just my apology in advance, just in case. So we will talk about power first. Well, let's catch up for a second. How have you been, my dear?
I've been doing good. I've been doing good. 2 people sick in the house, but besides that, everything else is good. The girls are good. We had my daughter's best friend, the one that stays with us. She just turned 13. So we had an adventure on Sunday in the rain. But it was fun. It was a nice little, like, Jersey's known for diners. So it was like a restaurant, but like a diner restaurant. So it was really nice. But that's about it. Just getting ready for 8th grade prom coming up.
Okay. I'm getting ready for 12th grade prom. So
Girl.
look at us. We don't even look like we got these old kids, but like
We were just
right?
trotting, thought bopping, trotting early,
Well, yeah, so nothing's crazy going on in my world, just regular life. And I am learning how to play the ukulele. I like everything music, so I'm like, I want to try that. That's my inner child. Like, I think for me, I grew up in DC public schools, so we didn't have a lot of the extracurricular things that that my husband had in his school or my kids have nowadays in their schools. I'm like, I didn't have the option to learn how to play these things unless I joined the band, and I was already in the band, but dancing. So I was a little showgirl. So now I'm giving myself the opportunity to learn some new stuff. So I'm enjoying it. It's not as easy as I thought it was going to be, but that's most things in life, right?
But you're musically inclined, so you do well.
Okay. You said my song sounded like a 50s. What did you say?
It sounded like a 50s doo-wop. I was like, okay, I can hear it. I was like, see? I saw you moving your feet. I'm like, oh, it's so hard. I'm like, look at you looking like a pro with your little grips and thingies on. I'm like, look at you.
Girl, only if you knew how long it took. Well, you know what? I only started a few days ago, so I got to give myself some grace. But once I noticed my fingers were not enjoying the process, I was like, this supposed to feel this way? And people were like, oh yeah, it's going to be painful at the beginning. But once the fingers start to callus, I'm like, I don't want no calluses on my finger.
That's like dancers' feet, like for ballet. My cousin was like, your feet look horrible because they got to get all callousy to stand up on it. I'm like, oh, I don't want to do ballet now. No, that's okay.
Yes, I was like, oh, you know what? See, I'm noticing a lot of things today. I don't know if you guys are seeing it, but my face is glitching. Do you see that?
I didn't see it.
Okay. Damn, am I tripping? Is it just me?
Now it just glitched.
Okay.
It's okay.
Yeah, I'm blaming my husband. He's using the Wi-Fi. It's him.
And we're still in Mercury retrograde, so you know how Mercury be doing.
Retrograde these. It needs to stop. I don't like it. Okay. So let's go ahead and get to power. Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert.
Yes, so the Tejadas are busy.
As always.
Busy. As always, Monet being messy. Diana, I got her name right this time. Diana
Dirty
It's
Diana.
turning into little Monet.
Yes, she is really showing her true colors. So I'm like, is the niceness the true her, or the I cut your head off the true her?
I think I'm a lot like Diana. I'm very nice, but when you cross me, it's over. So you don't want to see that side of me. I
Mm-hmm.
would be nice and sweet and very helpful and giving, but the moment I feel you have crossed me, and I feel like we can't work this relationship out, it's done. I turn into a whole different person. And you're like, where did this come from? Oh, she's been there.
Mm,
You crap.
she's just
So I
waiting to
think she
cut.
is like, come on, let me come out, let me come out, let me come out. But the way, what was it? Monet, she was messy with that, the whole killing of Poppy.
Mm-hmm.
She got the kid, what was his name from the wood? I forgot his
Kai
name.
from the wood. I didn't catch that. I kept saying this guy looks so familiar. He looked so familiar. I was like, he kind of looked like Lennox Lewis without the dreads. And so my husband pulled up the picture of Lennox Lewis, and maybe I'll pop up a picture of just Lennox Lewis and Kai side by side. But then someone sent him the video about Kai, I mean, the woods. I was like,
Mhm.
oh, that's where I know him from.
Yes, yes, yes. And he was also in Belly too, right? That was the guy with the wig on, right? In Belly. He's like, I don't like this shit right here.
Now
Remember
I'm gonna have to go look back at Belly.
with the lollipop when it was at the corner store and he was like, yeah, I don't like this shit right here. I think that was him eating a banana. He was eating a banana.
Okay, I'm gonna have to look back at that because I'm not picturing it in my mind right now.
And he was like, I think he did it. He said he did it because he was mad he got that part. So he tried like to F the scene up, but it became
Mm.
an iconic thing. I was like, see, you try to mess it up, but look how it worked out. But she got him killed and she texts off of his phone to Drew's lover boy because she had to get rid of
Cousin,
him because
cousin lover.
cousin, yeah, cousin lover, kissing cousins. And then they served the head of Kai to the Russians, which is like
In
I've never heard
the
of a drug.
cooler.
Yeah, I've never heard of a drug deal going like that through Black people or Hispanic, but I guess because the Russians, you had to come to them the way they were. I don't know. That to me was unrealistic. But I did like the part that Diana told old boy who was trying to be all, Black power, this. Come to find out, he was adopted by these white people. He had a
Right.
silver spoon mouth, and this and that. She was like, I will let everybody know. So she got her power back from him, which was good. I like that. She stood her ground and she was like, you gonna give everybody a raise, you gonna give me more hours, you gonna give these people more hours. I was like, she took care of others too, which was good. She wasn't only selfish, she took care of others. And
But he
then
showed his other side too, because one minute he's nice and sweet, and then writing this poem, and then as soon as she rejected him, boom, he turned
yeah.
he flipped it. So I was like, I
Mhm.
don't know. I don't know if they'll ever come back together again. Like I don't like him. He's weird.
Yeah, I don't like him either. And they asking her was she sleeping with Tariq, and she was like, whoever I'm sleeping with ain't got nothing to do with you. And I think he was mad about that because Tariq is a drug dealer. So he was like, you just
Mhm.
doing what your mother doing, you just like them. And I'm like, your business. You just met her. And she was like, I'll give you the money back. And he said, oh, I know you dealing drugs out of here. So, and then what else?
You think?
Tariq,
I think Effie is going to really give it up to. Why was I about to call him Lorenzo? That's the father name. Kane.
okay. I was thinking that he's trying to get the panties. He's trying to get him. But I think it all depends on how it works out with Lauren because Monet told Tariq the same thing Lauren did. I mean, Effie did.
Mm-hmm. She had
So
to
I
go.
think
That
she had to
wire
go.
wear bitch.
So yeah, he was like, so I think he was thinking like, you know what? You're right. So I think he's going to use Lauren to his advantage, but not to get back with her because you can't. And see, me and my husband were going back and forth with this. He was like, she's a civilian. I said, she's not a civilian. she's in the game too. He was like, no, she's not. He's in the game. I'm like,
Who,
but you
Lauren?
with him? No, yeah. He said she's a civilian. I said, but she snitched. She said, yeah, but that's not really snitching because she's a civilian. She doesn't work with them. I'm like, but still, that's your man. You know, if one goes down, they all go down. Shoot, you might even go down yourself because you with him and you didn't call the cops the first time you seen some illegal activity happen.
Mm.
So we were going back and forth about that because I'm like, she had to go. I think she still has to go. Like, you gotta be done. And then what else happened? Oh, Braden finding out they got a Ponzi scheme going on
Yes.
at his
Tariq
uncle's. So
or the Tejadas, they not getting that money back. And then it's gonna start a war with
that's
them.
why, that's why I said. And then his uncle said, "Remember, my jail cell is gonna be nicer than yours. Just remember that." So
And
I
then
was
the
like,
girl was with him, Kiki or whatever her name was.
"Yes, yeah." She was with them, and I had a feeling she was doing something because she said something about having to wash money.
Mm.
I said, "Okay, she washing money. Okay, they doing something on the side." And so that's why she was okay with the whole drug thing and all that stuff. And then so he doesn't know what to do. And he's gonna look bad because he didn't say anything to Monet and Kane about the money now. So he needs to figure out something quick
Mm-hmm.
before they find out. And then what else
They gonna
happened
hold
on
him
it?
responsible for that.
Yes, yes. And then Drew turned back into killing his cousin, his kissing cousin, and he killed them. And he was like, no, wait. And then,
Right.
so
But he
he could have
gotta
told that
go.
Monet, yeah, so he almost found out that Monet set it up, but didn't.
But then the
And then
police
what else?
ran up in there and took Diana, the weakest link.
But I think she knows not to say anything because Poppy's gone. She don't have nobody else. She just got back in the family.
Mm-hmm.
So she knows not to say nothing. I think then Sax being messy and getting Jenny straight. I'm like, good, finally. She needs to go. She's messy. And now so when Lauren told Tariq that Sax knew.
Mm-hmm.
So Tariq is going to tell Davis.
Yep.
So I'm waiting to see. I'm waiting to see that. The Haitians were pretty quiet this week. They didn't really do too much. And then like we said, Kane paid Effie tuition, so he might get the panties. I don't know.
My husband
He
knew
did
that
something to
smile was gonna come after she checked them on. I told you not to do this. He was like, she gonna smile, watch.
I knew the smile was coming, and because he did for her what nobody has done for her. Not even Tariq, and Tariq said he loved her.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like,
You know what people kept talking about? They was like, yo, why is Effie broke? She's been hustling. My husband saw this online. He was like, she's been hustling since she was in high school or something. Like, why can't she pay her tuition? Why is she broke?
I think she makes enough to pay tuition, but not enough to live. Like Tariq is getting his tuition paid basically from his father's stuff. So like everybody else is getting it paid through a different way. She actually has to work to pay. And she's going to Ivy League school. So she's not just going to a regular school where she can go to community college, get financial aid or whatever. But
She need to manage her money better.
yes. But you know what I was thinking? My husband said this too. He was like, what if Effie is the Haitian daughter? And she was given to that woman to be raised.
But she's the only one that saw the picture of the daughter because she wouldn't give it to Tariq.
She wouldn't give it to Tariq. She showed him, but she never gave it to him. And when he came to get the picture, she wouldn't give it to him.
Did they ever show the picture on the screen?
I think they did, but it wasn't clear enough to see who the little girl was. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, he was like, what if that's her daughter? Because then my brain started, that little gerbil on my head started going around. Because remember when they was in Italy, and she was like, I wasn't gonna let them kill y'all because Effie was there. So I'm like, were they there because Effie was there? And then she's trying to see, is Effie really like her daughter? Like, can she really mastermind all this? You know, you never know, but it's
We shall see.
shall see. Yes, yes, yes. Oh, and then David's brother got out, but now David's brother's scared because he was like, I went in for you and I can't have wasted all those years for nothing. And David thought about that too. And I thought I said, go and get him out, but are they going to open up the investigation again? So
He looked
where's
like he's
this
gonna
going to
self-sabotage that. It's like he seems like he's out a fish out of water. Like he's been in there for so long that he's not gonna know how to survive outside of it.
Mm-mm.
And you could see the
Yeah.
recap of what's gonna come next. And I'm like, who is Davis telling to put the gun down? So I'm looking forward to seeing what that whole scene is about, because if there's a crime, well, he's an attorney. So it's like, where would he be? Who would have a gun for him to be yelling outside, put the gun down? So
Either
about that.
Tariq Monet, maybe Sachs.
I thought it would have something to do with his
Or,
brother, but I didn't know how.
yeah. Oh, and then Sachs saw that he had all that money in his office. That's another thing.
When they did the view of the money, it seemed like the money was behind the desk. So did Sachs just see him open something, or did he actually see the money inside? Because I was trying to figure out what angle the camera was or which way he was sitting.
I think it was in front of him. So like where his sitting right in front of him. So like he pulled something. So I don't think he saw the money, but he saw him reach. But then you're right. I don't know if but Sachs was
Like, oh,
nosy.
I got money.
Yeah. So Sachs is going to go and look and see how much money. So he's going to be like, okay, where are you getting this money from? Why isn't this money accounted for? And did you notice that David's secretary saw Sachs in there? So she was looking. I was like, okay, something's going to happen with that later on. So I'm eager to see where this is going. It
Yes.
seems good.
Yeah, I haven't well, I've just been watching some of my regular shows. I haven't watched anything too new for us to start recapping, but maybe some different shows will come up and you finish Beef finally.
Yeah, when I get my hair braided this week, that'll give me enough time to sit there and watch it on my phone. And did you start Obsession?
I did. My husband and I started watching it together. I don't know what episode we're on. Did you finish the whole thing?
Yeah, it's like only 3 or 4 episodes. So
okay. So let's see. So you watched the whole thing already. Mm-hmm. We are at the part where, let me think back. The whole thing is crazy with that man. Dad is weird. So we're at the part the wife found out. The son is dead. The son is dead.
So you're almost done.
Okay. So yeah, the son is dead, and then he went to find the girl. She was like, stop looking for me, or don't come looking for me no more. But he is, okay. So I'll wait.
I think you finished it.
Am I done? Are we done?
Yeah. Because did you see where the dad moved into?
Yeah, her old place. Is that the end?
Yeah, you're done. You're done. Yeah.
Oh, damn. I thought it was more.
Oh, that's it.
Okay. Well, we'll talk about that. We already gave some snippets. Spoiler alert. We already gave some snippets. So next episode we'll talk about obsession. Obsessed.
Yes.
Obsessed or obsession?
Obsessed. One of them. One of them.
One of them ubs. Yeah. Okay, so now we're gonna go to the main topic, which is not a question and answer, but this has been something that has come up a few times. So we just figured we would discuss it. And as I mentioned before, it's, do you consider flirting cheating? Now, earlier, Jessica Rabbit said something to me. It was like she gave me a compliment. I'm like, oh, you look good. I was like, are you flirting with me? Because sometimes people giving compliments or just acknowledging someone, the way they look, the way they smell, their demeanor. Some people could take those things as flirting, and others may look at it as harmless, like, oh, I was just giving them a compliment. But even talking to my husband yesterday, I was like, is it the tone of the voice? Is it how you say it? Like, oh, look at your hair. It looks so nice. Like, I think all of these things can add to it. But we asked some people, we looked at some TikTok videos that were discussing this topic. So we wanted to know what the people think. So first, when we first talked about this, do you consider flirting as cheating?
No, I think if you stay within your boundaries, I have I can be very flirtatious at times, especially trying to get out of a ticket or trying to get a deal on something. I will bat the eyelashes, smile, trying to get
Oh,
something.
so when you can benefit from it.
I use it for my benefit, yes, at times. I remember one time my husband's like, "So you gonna do that right in front of me?" I was like, "What do you mean?" He was like, "You were blatantly flirting with that guy." I was like, "No, it wasn't. I was just trying to get a discount."
But did that discount benefit him?
Yeah, it did. It was smaller on his pockets.
Okay. So it was beneficial,
Yes,
but he felt disrespected.
yes, I said I was just being nice, and I can't
But you
help it.
told him what he wanted to hear because in your mind, you knew you was flirting.
So, I
Oh,
need a
but what if he
discount.
did that in front of you?
Oh, he's done it. I mean, he does it all the time with work and like the way he speaks to certain girls. I remember one time we were at Walmart and he saw one of the secretaries at one of the auctions, and I could tell something had went somewhere. Like not like he did anything, but she may have wanted to do something or something because she saw me and she hugged me.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, "Why did she hug me? What did you do?" He's like, "No, no, no. I was no, 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 no. She said she wanted to go out, for drinks with all of it." I said, "Yeah, but did you go?" "No, no, 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 no." I said, "But so why did she hug me?" So I knew she was very awkward around me. But he can be very flirtatious. He can say you look nice and you smell nice. Oh, I like the way your hair. Because he's a salesman.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what they do. They're snakes in the grass. So
I do know somebody who was a club promoter, and they were in a full-blown relationship, but a lot of the people around thought that they had a chance with this person. And it was just like, they were like, oh, this is my job. This is part of the job. I have to make them want to come. And if I have to give them my number or something, even if I'm not going to talk to them, I'm like, that's part of your job.
yeah,
Like
I
that's
know.
that's extra. You're telling yourself you have to do that.
Yes. And that's what I said. I used to say that too. You're telling them that you have to go out to dinner with these people. You have to go to lunch. You have to be nice to them. You have to buy them lunch. I said, these people thinking you're doing some of this out of your own pocket or because you like them, not because it's your job. I said, you need to really draw that line.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And that's why I think it's a thin line between flirting and cheating, because it's like you can just overstep that line just a little bit, and then somebody thinks that that's their segue to come in, or like, oh yeah, and then they'll feed into that and just that back and forth. So I was asking
yeah,
my husband, and he's a typical man, so he had, well, I need more information before I can answer that. I'm like, just answer the question. He was like, well, is it work related or is it just some random person? I'm like, okay, you're doing too much. He never really fully answered the question, but he was just like, well, yeah, I guess so. So I guess he did, but that's all he said.
he's like, well, I don't know what her answer is going to be, so I'm not going to say yes, no. So
Right.
she's like, really?
But I had to I gave an example. I'm like, well, sometimes it could be just being friendly. And I think me being friendly in the past has been taken the wrong way, but that's just who I am. Like if I notice you got a haircut, or if I notice, you know, you changed up your style or something, I may acknowledge it or give a compliment. Oh, nice haircut. Or, oh, you know what? That's a nice car. That's a nice this, blah, blah, blah. but that doesn't mean I'm flirting. I'm just acknowledging it.
Yes.
I've had bus drivers where I was like, hey, how are you? Just because I remembered their name, or just because, I may like, hey, give me a hug. They think that's flirting. I'm like, no, I don't like you like that.
Yeah. I know. Yeah. It's, if I was 20 years younger, like, no, honey, I'm
Well, that ain't gonna matter. And then I have to make sure I throw something out there and be like, yeah, my husband and I've been, I'll throw something out there and I'm like, don't take my kindness as, me trying to push up on you. But then when
yeah.
it's done to me in my mind, I'm like, is this person flirting with me? Let me cut that off right now. But then I'm like, you know what? They were just being nice. But I look at too friendly
Yes.
sometimes. But then it's like, damn, is that what I do? Is that how I did that?
Yeah. What was it? I was told me being friendly was going to get me in trouble. Like this guy, okay, when me and my husband first started dating, we were at Red Lobster. This guy had to go to the bathroom. I was sitting there by the bench waiting for the table. He was like, hey, can you hold my gloves for me so I can go to the bathroom? They would love the gloves. I was like, sure. Went to the bathroom, came back, and the guy took the gloves from me. He said, thank you, and walked away. My husband was like, what did you just do? I said, well, he had to go to the bathroom and he has to hold them. Why can't he hold his own gloves? I said, I guess he get piss on him. I don't know. Like, he just saw me and asked, you don't know what those gloves were. That could have been a sign for something, and you could have been dead. I'm like, or arrested. I'm like, I was just trying to be nice. Your niceness is gonna get you killed.
Oh goodness. So yeah, we did ask a few people and they gave us some very nice feedback. We will read a couple of the messages and then we have some audio as well to share. So feel free to comment in the description, not the description, comment below whether this is on Anchor, Spotify, YouTube, whatever. If there's a space to comment, leave a comment below and tell us whether you think flirting is considered cheating. Because I even had to look up the definition. I looked up the definition of flirting and it's like playfulness or, giving compliments or playfully acknowledging someone. I don't know. I'm not reading the definition like word for word, but it did not say anything about cheating or boundaries or nothing like that. It's just like playfully talking to somebody. But then the cheating is when you actually do or you actually shit, I should have had it in front of me.
It's like if you have physical contact or something like sexting, something that I guess that would lead into a physical contact that
Right. Yeah.
everybody else's definition of cheating is different.
So I have a message from, I'll say A from Maryland. They say flirting is a small breach, but a breach nonetheless. If these are things that you hide from your spouse, then it isn't honest. Practice being the person you are in front and behind your spouse's back, upright and honest in all things. It's different levels to flirting, ranging from harmless smile and compliment to a full-on conversation and touch. Okay, so those little acknowledgments or batting the eyes or just like the way you look at someone, that could be considered flirting. But then if that person comes to you and makes an advance because you made eye contact with them or you were batting your eyelashes or just smiling real hard, or speaking to them with your body, body language is a big part of it, then they may feel like they could take it a step further. But you acted that way in front of your spouse. So it's like, it ain't cheating. I ain't do nothing.
I didn't walk away with him, didn't get his number or anything like that.
Right. And you have some comments too. So we'll go back and forth with some of your comments if you want, or do you want me to just read the ones I have so far? What you think?
We can go back and forth if you want.
But do you agree with A?
Yes, I mean, See, I think it's harmless. I think flirting is harmless at times. I mean, as long as you're not really touching and, like, oh, trying to fill you up, then that's the caressing. Yeah, I think it's
Hmm.
harmless.
Okay.
Um, So this person, they said they want to be called Keith, and they said, no. Flirting sometimes can definitely be misunderstood as cheating, but cheating isn't until you have acted upon something.
Mm,
So
okay. That's a good way to look at it because I mean that's the way I feel. Like, okay, it's harmless. It's just, oh, just a little something something. But then if you know how to set that boundary and cut it off before it gets any farther, then I look at it as harmless as well. So we got Jay from VA. Um, Jay said, yes, flirting is one of the first steps in cheating. Flirting is seeking validation and attention from someone outside of your current relationship. Your partner should be the only person you flirt with while in a relationship. I believe flirting is used as a gauge to determine the possibility and feasibility of cheating. Wow. Flirting can also mislead a person on to believe that there is a chance to engage in an intimate, let's see, let me move this down a little bit. Oh, this is a lot. In an intimate relationship with a person who is really in a relationship. I've heard people who play flirt. A person in a relationship will flirt with the single people just for the fun of it, self-satisfying reasons, and no other intentions, almost like a game to play. Now, if two people in a relationship agree to allow each other to flirt, then it's not cheating. But if there has not been an agreement made, then it's cheating. Now, I know I read that, like, it was a lot. So I was like, I want to make sure I'm not missing a piece. So if I sounded like I was in second grade, then please forgive me.
fluency was fine. Your fluency was fine. No, I think that person has been hurt by cheating. I mean, flirting, or something has been. Yes, I think something happened with that, and that's understandable because that can change your perspective on it. If
Mhm.
thought it was fine until somebody took it too far. I know, I think a lot of times I can be friendly, and
Mhm.
some people take like my overly friendliness as I'm flirting with them, or they think there might be an open opportunity for something. So I understand that, but that's not how I mean to be, because I don't want, it's either I'm too nice or I'm a bitch.
Mm,
So which one is it? So when I try to be nice, you don't like that. But then when I be, resting face B, and then it's like, oh, what's wrong with her? So I mean,
yeah, it's all about people's trauma.
yeah, that that's true. I'm so sorry for that person. Hopefully, whoever they're with will not flirt, and they can, set their boundaries and let them know from the beginning. And then that's another thing. If you have issue with it, set your boundaries right away. Say, hey, I don't like flirting. So let me catch you flirting.
Right. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't either. So Anthony says, absolutely not. When I was younger, I used to think flirting was cheating. Now that I understand human behavior and the emotions, I am more aware of the situation. We're always going to find someone more attractive, more desirable than our partner, and that's male or female. Because of because of its human nature to indulge ourselves into saying unusual comments and even play touching that person to be the natural eye.
Okay,
Yeah,
so this must be a flirt.
yes, yes, must be a definite flirt. Some of these I did not
Okay.
prior, because I wanted to give my natural first reaction to it. So I just like copied and pasted.
I'm a flirt.
Yeah.
I'm a flirt. The touching, keep your hands to yourself. That's too much. That's the thin line. That's crossing over the thin line.
But you know what? But I could
But a
definitely
hug.
because you know how like men will like try to look and like, you know, reach out to you. And even women sometimes like, oh yeah, haircut, look at that, you know, or I don't, yeah, see. And I get freaked out by touches sometimes.
I was watching this show and it was, what show was this? But it was talking about a scientific experiment they were doing where you can tell if somebody likes you if they will remove a piece of lint from off of your clothes.
So I'm the type that I would just do it because I don't want you to walk around looking.
Right. I'm the
Oh,
type of person to be like, oh, I'm sorry, just one sec. Your tag is sticking out. Do you want me to fix it for you? But I would do that to well, I might do it to a female, but I don't know if I would do that to a male. I might just say, hey, your tag is sticking out or something, but I wouldn't physically touch them. But a woman, I might be like, hey, is it okay if I fix this for you? Or your dress isn't zipped up all the way or something. So, but when it comes to physical touch, like I'm not gonna rub nobody's head or like, oh, you got a nice haircut, and then just touch them. Like that's too much. That's too much.
probably younger single me probably would have done that. But now I probably wouldn't. No. Yeah. I mean, maybe just my son. My husband, I can't. Yeah, that's I don't know about it, you know.
So we
If that
have
works.
Shay from Maryland says, yes, I do believe that flirting is cheating because it disrespects the relationships and opens the door for further actions to take place. So it's like well, no, because Jay's a male, but the females seem like they really feel that flirting is cheating.
Except for the flirtatious.
Right. And I wish I could be a fly on the wall just to see how they act in real life situations to see like, up, that's flirting. That the flirt police. I'd be the flirt police. Like, up, that, hey, hey, hey.
You batted your eye one too many
Up.
times.
You better look up. Look. Don't no look the other way. So who else we have?
I have Mr. JJ Vaughn. So flirting is cheating when your marriage or relationship doesn't allow for the male to court a partner. But even with that, there is limits to what you can say. But I can tell my wife about the women I communicate with, as long as I don't go further than saying certain things or getting too explicit.
Okay.
So as long as he has an open relationship, like he tells them open communication.
Be
And
like,
you
yeah,
know,
I told this lady she has a really nice butt. Damn, you got a fat ass. Just don't smack it. Like, is that flirt?
yeah, I mean,
Oh, your boobs are sitting up nice in that dress today. Is that flirting?
I know, I see you brought the girls out, or
Uh,
wow, that sundress just hugs your body all in the right places. That color hair looks
I can tell you lost a little weight. Okay. And I did mention when I was talking to my husband, I was like, if you say, oh, your hair, you like all that ooh stuff, like, no, you ain't gotta say it like that. Oh, your hair, look at your eyes in the sun. Yeah,
yes.
that could be considered flirting, I guess. All right. And that, ooh, oh, that's all flirting.
Yes.
Who else you got?
Okay, so I have Jazzy. She said it depends on the situation. If you're married, it's considered inappropriate because I'm sure your spouse will not approve crossing that boundary. Flirting is how an affair starts, in my opinion.
Mm.
And then I have I got three more. So I'm gonna be real quick. We're just gonna go through them, and then Ave said it's it's the start to it. My point is, where does it stop? You look nice today. It's right next to you're wearing that dress. That's akin to damn, you got a fat ass. So can adults stop at you look nice today? most can't. As far as that works, like, as far as that work husband stuff, I'm out. So no work
Yeah,
husbands.
I was talking about that too, because when my husband said, is it a coworker or is it a person you don't know? I was like, yeah, that work wife, work husband stuff. Some of that is innocent, but yeah, it could be crossing boundaries, because why do you need to have a work husband? But I've been in situations where it could be someone who is in the LGBTQ community, and they'll say that with a straight person, like, oh, this is my work wife, or this is my work husband. So in situations like that, where you're like, oh, I'll never have a chance with this person, you might be able to get away with some stuff, like, oh, look at you in them jeans today. So it's like you're talking to one of your girlfriends, or
Yeah. No, I can see that.
but we can tell Abe's been hurt by this work husband.
Yeah, they work. No, no work.
Damn, Abe.
No. So this person wanted to be anonymous. Any flirting is almost second nature with us being human beings, especially if you come across a person whom you find attractive. It also depends on where you want to take it. It can go from 0 to 100 real quick. As long as there is no physical activity, then it's fine. However, there's the fine line where other things can happen, which are seen as cheating.
Okay.
And this last person, his name is Demick. He said, some people take it too far, but as long as it's harmless and done tastefully and respectfully, it's fine.
Okay. So like I said, it's that thin line where it's like, okay, now you're doing too much. But if a person is naturally this way, then it's like the TikTok video you sent me, or you sent me a few of them. The girl was saying something about flirting in the club and like dancing on people and stuff like that. If that's what something you and your partner agree with, like, okay, let's go have fun, y'all both drinking and y'all just dancing, and y'all know y'all not leaving with these people. I mean, and if you're trying to leave with the people, maybe that's part of the game. You trying to see how far it can go, and you're like, hey, you trying to come home with me and my wife. But yeah, it's usually, it has to be a mutual thing. But how would you know if it's okay and acceptable if something doesn't occur for you to really acknowledge it and say, okay, yeah, I'm cool with that, or no, I'm not really cool with this? So how do you set boundaries in the beginning of the relationship, not just with a married couple, but when you're dating and you notice that your man is looking at the waitress and like making googly eyes, and you sitting there like, this nigga.
See, I think I point him out. I'm like, oh, dad, she got a big ass, but you see that right there? You know, it's about to walk past. You better catch it, because I know he's going to work because he's a man. So I look at it like, I will point them out. Hey, look, so you don't have to feel awkward trying to look. I just do that because I don't. He's not walking, like you said. He's not going home with her. He's not getting her phone number.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
So what do you think
That is,
about like social media, commenting and liking and heart emojis and stuff? Or
see, he doesn't comment on stuff, so I really never. And he's not big on social media, so it was more so me. Like, I can make comments and I'll show him, but I try not to be too flirtatious. Um, but then I also choose who I know, like, some people will go, hey friend, back and forth like that. I can do that. That's fine. But I don't take it to nowhere where it's like, oh, I want you to know.
like,
Then,
oh, if I wasn't married.
yeah, I wouldn't say that now.
Yeah, that's too
Because
much.
then because that leaves that door open, cracked a little bit, like, oh, she'll let me hit it,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
And then, but
So
some people like attention too. So they may flirt, like they said, that playing the game, they may flirt just to see if somebody will pay them attention. And especially if they're not getting that attention at home, then you never know how far it can go. So if people don't know their own boundaries, then yeah, they shouldn't do it at all.
because you can flirt yourself into a situationship, and you like, how the hell?
Mm-hmm.
I
How
would
does it
say
start?
that flirting went too far. You're like, I was just trying to feel good, and now I'm sitting here married with 10 kids.
Oh my Lord. So we have an audio from, this is C from Georgia. Let's see if y'all can hear it.
So in my opinion, I don't necessarily consider flirting as cheating in that clear-cut way, because honestly, the definition of cheating depends on the relationship. So depending upon you and your partner's boundaries, it could be flirting, and it could not include flirting. The other thing is that flirting could be like a quick little 10-second conversation somewhere, or it could go on for weeks, and you reach a point where you're like kind of like emotionally cheating. And with some people, they say that's worse than physically cheating. So it all depends on the situation, the relationship boundaries, and the scenario on if you're flirting is considered cheating or not. But just generally speaking, with society's current norms, flirting really is not cheating.
Okay. And see, the men, they look at this whole logical thing like, nah, I mean, cheating is cheating. Flirting is flirting. You can't compare the two because they're different. So they will mansplain it. But women, they get into the emotion and the feeling.
Because men they want to say something, they want to look, they want to comment. So they go into, oh no, I didn't touch it. And then sometimes they groom you to accept their behavior. So then, especially if you got groomed in prior relationships, then it teaches you, okay, then that's not really that, because I was taught that wasn't that.
Mm-hmm.
When maybe sometimes it actually is, but you were so jacked up by this other person because they wanted to do what they wanted to do and get you to accept it. So yeah, men can do some numbers on us.
Yeah, because we see straight from what was that, BMF, with the past, with the church ladies and stuff, just flirting and, hey, can you help me with this? Can you come over to my house and fix something for me? And then they'll do a little something just to see if they get a reaction. So that is just like blatant, upright. Let me try my hand. Let's see if you'll give me some attention. But it could be a man that sees a woman struggling with something. He'd be like, hey, let me help you with that. And then, makes these little gestures. But it could be like, so, how are you doing today? Are you married? Asking those questions. So it's like, is that just sparking a conversation? Is that just being helpful to someone? Or is it flirting?
Which is true. Like the old man that followed me around Walmart that day.
I
was just like, yes, I hit one of them little bucky thingies. And it just, you look like what this is at. I'm like, why does he keep finding me? And I had on leggings that day. God forbid I had on leggings. So
all right, well, we're getting close to the end of the episode, but let's listen to, you have some audios we can listen to, so we can try to get to the bottom of this, and then we'll be able to say whether, in our own opinions, even though you kind of see where we are with it right now anyway. But let's see where Jessica Rabbit where did you go? There you go.
Oh yeah. Okay. For a second. No, do you have any more audios?
Nope, that was it for me.
Okay, so I'm gonna play both of them back to back.
Okay.
So the first one is from Caprina, and this is what hers says.
Question.
I'm sorry, this is from.
I do feel like flirting is a form of cheating, because cheating ain't necessarily just having sex. I'm like, you can emotionally cheat, you can emotionally cheat on somebody. So flirting with someone, I would consider cheating. Now, depending on the couple, if the couple determines that, oh, there's nothing wrong with flirting with people, then that's their situation. You know what I'm saying? That they've already determined that that's not a problem. But I think in most cases, flirting with somebody is considered cheating. Whether you texting it, you flirt with somebody through a text, or you flirting with them in person. Yeah, I think all of that, I think that is cheating.
Okay, my bad. That was Daji.
Okay.
And this is going to be Caprina.
I was gonna say Caprina.
I am so sorry that I'm just not getting around to being able to answer this question. It has been like a really crazy busy day, and I am truly sorry for that. But the question I'm answering is, do you consider flirting cheating? In my personal opinion, I do feel like it's a form of cheating. Why do I feel that way? I do feel that way because I just feel like you're entertaining someone, you're flirting with someone, you're getting out of pocket, like, right? Like, I don't really feel there's really a nice way to flirt or an appropriate way to flirt. Because obviously the other party could take it out of context, take it the wrong way. And honestly, before you know it, one thing can lead to another, right? Like, depends on who you're flirting with. Um, they're not going to be respecting your boundaries that you're in a relationship. And if you're flirting, quite frankly, I feel like you don't respect your partner, your spouse, your girl, your man, or whatever the case may be. So in my opinion, yes, I do feel like flirting is a form of cheating. It may not be actually having intercourse, but it's still giving attention to someone else, and it's not, in my opinion, respecting your partner.
Okay,
Okay.
so those are my.
I do not consider flirting cheating, but flirting could very well turn into cheating depending on how far you go. It's okay to look until you're addressing someone with your eyes. It's okay to talk until you go from G to MA. It's okay to hug until you don't know the difference between the upper and lower back or below the waist. So I would never flirt to the point of cheating, but flirting could lead to cheating depending on how far the parties go with the flirting.
Okay. So it seems like we have a balance a little bit. Some say, well, a lot of them said if you have an agreement or if you discuss it with your partner in advance, or let's say if you guys met each other and you knew that they kind of were a little flirtatious, and that would have been the time for you to set the boundary and be like, hey, being nice and giving compliments is okay, but tone it down a notch a little bit. Yes. But if you just haven't said anything and then you're holding it in and then you go from 0 to 100 because you feel like it's being disrespectful, I mean, you gotta let people be who they are, but then you just set the boundary for what you are willing to tolerate. Like if it's for a discount, if you're trying to get the hookup or something, like, hey, you guys have that military discount, I may say it a little just like, hey, add a smile to it. Cause ain't nobody gonna want to give you the hookup and you being mean and looking all like you ain't gonna give me a discount. Like, but if let's say you do have a coworker and you're like, oh, I bought you some leftovers from home. That's too much.
Yeah,
Or let's go to lunch and you're just laughing. Yeah. And then you touching and got your hand on their knee and stuff like that. No, that's the thin line right there.
Yeah, and people whispering around the office like, oh, they doing something. That's not like that. Or, oh, I needed a ride at work. And, I asked Rika, I asked Tom over there to bring me, something. Then it's like,
you got to close the door when y'all having conversations or all of this. You laugh at every joke, even if it's not funny. Like those things can be considered flirting and just like crossing that line where it could lead to something else. But we're all grown and we all can be accountable for our behavior. And let's say if a person is doing it harmlessly and just being friendly, then it's up to you to let your partner know that, hey, that's a little too friendly, tone it down a notch. Or like if you tell them not to do it at all, they may really do it when you're not around because now they're being told not to be who they are.
Yeah, which is true. And then you got to understand, I mean, I've been told, oh, we got to be nice to them because, sometimes we need accounts done. And I'm like, yeah, I understand it. But sometimes, especially single women or women that see a person and go, ooh, I can get with him and get with this or get with that, or, and try to get what they have. They'll try to do a little bit more. They take it, out of context. And it's like, I don't know. I think have that boundary, set it, try not to go over it. If you know you're very flirtatious, try to work on bringing it down a notch. So, I had to work on myself.
So for me to answer that question, no, flirting is not cheating. Because if you look up the definition, if you want to get logical and you want it mansplained, then no, it's not the same. It's two different things. It's two different things. But when you cross the boundary and you start making different advances and you start physical touch and you start all of these other love languages, that is crossing the line.
But Anthony said it's not.
Anthony don't know nothing.
Anthony said, I could.
But if they have an agreement, that's totally different. So it's not a breach if you have an agreement. If you
you're right.
have an agreement to not do it and then you still do it, that is a breach of the contract. So yeah, it's all about
Yes. Remember the white one, Housewives. Remember him? He used to be like with Nene and them.
Oh yeah, the white, the
Melons.
friend.
Yeah, he was always the melon. I'm like, man, if you don't get here to touching on melons.
But see, that's that line. Like, if you know you have no chance with this person, you know they don't have an interest in you, then you may allow someone to get away with certain things that you may not allow someone who is heterosexual to do.
But later he was seen with a woman and dating a woman. So what if he was doing all that?
The white?
Yeah, what was he doing? What if he was just doing all that just to, you ever see those memes? Yeah, act like I was gay just to get to the girls.
Oh gosh, yes, I have seen that.
So
Okay, well that's a whole nother topic.
I know, but yeah.
Well, we are going to wrap it up. Thank you. The people have spoken, but it's all about perception. It's all about how you feel in your relationships, in your life. So we will let you be the judge of that and let us know your comments. But thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of Soul Healer Podcast. We will see you and speak to you later.
Bye.
I was going to say, you're not going to say it? Say it one more time. Let me hear it one more time.
Bye.
Okay.